Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back co-founders BlogHer, Lisa Stone and Elisa Camahort Page.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome. I'm Lisa Stone, co-founder and CEO of BlogHer.
And I'm Elisa Camahort Page, co-founder and COO of BlogHer. And you may have noticed someone is missing.
So we did a little work on that.
Hey guys. I'm Jory Jardins, the third co-founder, and I am due in a couple of weeks with my next child. So, home.
She's following along from home, along with many other people. Welcome, Jory. We miss you. Now, let me ask the desk here, does Jory have an audio back? Can Jory hear us?
I can hear you now.
Can we just say, give her a big... The entire BlogHer team is excited to welcome you to our 8th annual conference. Since 2005, our mission has been to create opportunities for women who blog and use social media to gain additional exposure for our writing, more education, more community, and if we so choose, economic empowerment. So we started this event, as I talked about last night, as a labor of love. We wanted to answer the question, where are the women who blog, which was coming out of mainstream newsrooms in 2005. No one's asking that about you guys anymore. We have incredible conversations lined up for you, as well as some networking opportunities and some very special invitations that are exclusive to BlogHer 2012 attendees. Take it away, Elisa.
Every year is different at BlogHer, and we don't want you to miss anything. So we're just going to give you a quick rundown, a little preview of what's to come, and then we're going to kick off our other BlogHer tradition for the opening, a speed dating BlogHer style exercise to help you meet lots of other BlogHers right away. But let's take a quick look backwards. Did everyone appreciate being a priority on the president's calendar yesterday at 4:30 p.m.? That's right. For those of you who missed it, President Barack Obama joined us via video conference to kick off our event. Of course, as a nonpartisan, in fact, omnipartisan community, we invited Governor Romney to address you as well. We very much hope that we can welcome him either at an event or on blogher.com very, very soon, and we are working on that. In the meantime, both President Obama and Governor Romney have campaign representatives speaking on breakout panels in our political track here at BlogHer 12. So you'll be able to hear from a whole range of perspectives in our political track. But for a moment, let's watch just a short excerpt from President Obama's comments. Since election 2008, when then Senator Barack Obama did a BlogHer video interview and First Lady Michelle Obama started a blogher.com blog, President Obama and his administration and now his campaign have been listening to women across our network and social media, where women are telling their stories about how issues like healthcare, the environment, education, and of course the economy are being lived in their lives every single day. Today it is my honor to introduce the official opening address of BlogHer 12 from President Barack Obama live via the internet. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President, for the respect you are showing to voters and to this community in particular by being with us.
Some of you may have heard there's an election coming up, and women's issues are front and center, as they should be. But I think the conversation's been oversimplified a little bit. I bet anyone who spends a little time at your conference would realize pretty fast that women are not a monolithic block. You're not an interest group. You make up more than half of our country and nearly half of our workforce, not to mention 80% of my household if you count my mother-in-law.
We will be putting up the entire video on BlogHer.com. For those of you who weren't able to see it, it was a rather late-breaking initiative that Elisa made happen for the conference, and we want to make sure that you all have the opportunity to see that. Thank you again, Elisa. President Obama kicked off quite a night. I hope everyone had a fantastic time at our two parties. Deb Rocks, where are you? Hosted Queerosphere. And of course, the amazing women who hosted the People's Party, Velveteen Mind, the Bloggess in virtual red balloon dress, which was brilliant, Mother Bumper, Izzy Mom, and Oh the Joys. More on tonight's parties in a minute. For a second now, we'd like to dig into today's programming.
So this year, we're happy to offer a full range of sessions, as we always do, led by experts from this very community. We're more inclusive than ever, and we've created a series of tracks to satisfy however or whyever you blog. I hope you've all downloaded the iPad, iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry app for BlogHer 12. It's really helpful for figuring out not just where you want to go, but where you want to go, meaning what room and how to find it. There's a ton to figure out, so check out the app. The conference sessions are really for everyone from beginner to expert, whether you are working towards goals that are personal, professional, political, technical, visual, or just focused on the writing itself. On the personal track, our experts will lead you on many conversations around identity issues, everything from children, midlife, we're even taking on erotica, so that should be a hot session. On the political side, it's an election year, and so we feel like there's so much at stake. We have an entire track on election 2012, and particularly focused on the power of the woman voter. On the technical, we're covering HTML basics, learning how to make a podcast. We have a session about if you're interested in making your own app. So we think we're going to try and make it easy for you to master some new technologies. And this is our first year with a dedicated visuals track, where we're covering everything from iPhoneography to having a 2-session video blogging boot camp. So images and video are becoming so important to what we all do, and we hope you'll take advantage of that track. Finally, on the writing track, we took the idea of the Geek Bar, which we brought back, and we're now trying something called the Writing Lab, in addition to some writing-focused sessions, which is also about small group conferring over your writing. And on the professional track, we've actually finally split this into 2 levels, a beginning track and an intermediate to advanced track, and we're going to talk about everything around building your brand, building your blog, and learning how to monetize both your blog and your career in general.
Yes. Professional blogging, let's talk about that for a minute. Tomorrow, we're going to hold a very special closing session called the BlogHer Economy. Since 2005, Elisa, Jory, and I have been committed to the dream of creating a global stage on which bloggers and social media influencers like ourselves can have a pulpit from which to share our stories, raise the profile of the issues we care about, and, yes, if you so choose, to make money and be paid for your writing. So together we've done it. Our belief in that cause and our belief in you resulted in an announcement yesterday that in the past 3 years, BlogHer Inc. as a company has been able to pay out a huge sum to bloggers. From 2009 to 2011, we paid bloggers more than $17 million to write. We are just getting started. Our network and our services to help pay women to write, and men, given our growing food network, is going to change dramatically on Monday, August 6th. We're going to make it possible to embrace all your spheres of influence, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and beyond, to help you accomplish your goals, whatever they are. Whether you're doing massive social good or you're helping pay your family's bills, as a significant number of those earners have done. So I really hope you will join me and Elisa tomorrow from 5:15 to 6 p.m. to kick off the closing keynote and hear what we're planning for you. Jory?
Well, I believe there's one other reason to attend at 5:15, and that is because we are going to be announcing the location of BlogHer 13 at that time. So please do make it. I know I will be there for that. And I also want to acknowledge Elisa and Lisa for amassing an amazing speaker lineup this year. I know I say that every year, but I really mean it this year. Starting with lunchtime, Elisa, you'll be in conversation with Martha Stewart, and all of us are invited.
So yes, at lunch today, I'll be interviewing Martha Stewart. I have long admired Martha as a business leader, but also how she's built an iconic brand. I am thrilled to host this conversation. I will be incorporating some of the questions that we gathered from you, and we thank her for being here. And speaking of thanks, we do want to make sure to thank the conference programming team, Polly Page and Hart, aka Lesbian Dad, and Shannon Carroll, aka Mr. Lady, and let them have their moment in the sun to help make this amazing conference program come together. So thank you to them. And of course, our entire day today builds up to the Voices of the Year BlogHer community keynote. You don't want to miss this. It is the heart and soul of the conference. It's 75 minutes of spirit, of soul. You will laugh till you cry, and you'll cry till you laugh. There will be 14 women and 1 man reading the posts that represent different categories of writing, everything from humor to op-ed, political op-ed, and it will really be the centerpiece of the conference. After that Hug Fest, we'll celebrate in a fantastic reception because we want to honor all 110 Voices of the Year, all of the posts that were submitted by this community as the best you had read all year long and then judged by committee. And these 110 really represent the full power of what bloggers can accomplish with their words and their images. You can find their names and their posts on blogger.com, and we will call them all out at tonight's reception.
I am definitely bringing my hanky. As Elisa and Jory know, I'm not a crier, and the Voices of the Year undoes me every year, which is why I want to thank in advance the hosts of tonight's terrific parties, Listen to Your Mother and Sparklecorn. That's going to be an incredible time. I think that, in addition, I should mention that we should all stay out late, but not so late that we can't get up tomorrow for another great day of programming. Today, Elisa is interviewing Martha Stewart. Tomorrow, I interview our keynote speaker, none other than Katie Couric. Katie is one of my personal idols, and as many of you know, she is kicking off an entirely new show in the only day part that she hasn't yet dominated on television, the afternoon talk show. More at katiecouric.com. She is planning some very innovative things with bloggers and social media on her show, more than any other program I've ever seen, and we'll get an opportunity to see a little sample and ask her about it.
Right after you get a chance to stretch your legs after the wonderful Katie Couric keynote, we will also go straight into another general session where Soledad O'Brien will speak with Christy Turlington Burns and Malak Compton Rock about the way they are using the web and social media and the way they are using their prominence and influence to affect social good in the world, something that many of you do every single day. And then followed by, on Saturday night, we will have another round of wonderful parties, including, we just want to point out, our inaugural fashion show. So our own Catherine Finney, the budget fashionista, has programmed a runway you will not want to miss. It stars bloggers from this very community and from every part of the blogosphere. And we really want to thank 6 p.m., which is an affiliate of Zappos, and PetSmart for sponsoring our inaugural fashion show. Because yes, it's true, you will see some puppies working the runway along with the bloggers. And thanks to Elizabeth Arden and Paul Mitchell for bringing both the staff and the product to make every blogger model feel totally pampered.
And while we're on the subject of sponsors, I think we have a few to thank. We have over 130 sponsors this year. These are brands who find your voice is valuable. And another thing I say every year, and it's true every year, if it weren't for our sponsors, we would not be able to subsidize the cost of your conference registration. We owe them a huge amount of our thanks. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. You'll see them at parties, you'll see them in the exhibitor hall, you'll see them in the sessions. Please go talk to them, say hello, hug them. Here they like hugs.
Yes, they do like hugs. And I just want to point out they can be found in 4 places. There's the America's One Hall, there is the Rhinelander Gallery, there is the Mercury Ballroom, and there is the 42nd floor series of suites, sponsor suites. So there's a lot of places to go see all those 130 sponsors. And I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor sales and support team. They worked so hard this year. So I want to call out Miriam Anton, Kristen Odger, Monique Maestas-Gower, Erin Groh, Rachel Ladd, and of course the rest of the entire BlogHer events team and the BlogHer digital sales and service team. We just want to thank you. And if you're in this room, we'd actually like you to stand and wave. You might be all
They're probably working.
Yes, but we want to thank them for all their hard work.
Thank you.
And of course, we need to thank all of you. This truly is the conference that the community built. You have shown us the way for 8 years. So thank you. Thank you so much for making BlogHer possible.
So now we're going to tell you just a little bit more about you. This year there are more than 5,000 registered attendees for this conference. I actually stopped looking yesterday morning, so I'm not sure what the final number is, but it surpassed 5,000. And this is nearly 1,000 more than attended in San Diego. So it's once again a big growth. But we're going to talk about you a little bit, and these are from your responses to the registration survey. So it's really interesting here that 13% of you actually aren't blogging yet. You're here to get started and you're here to get inspired. And I know when you talk to all the other bloggers around here, you will get that inspiration. And the vast majority of you have 1 or 2 blogs that you really focus on. There's only a little less than a third of us who are the crazy types who keep adding more and more and more. You know, I'm not going to say who that might be.
It's Elisa and some of you. I think that, you know, what's interesting, given the number of blogs you do write, and let's go to the next slide, when we ask you what you blog about, there are an incredible number of experts here with deep knowledge on everything from technology to food to parenting to politics. But when we ask you, the number one thing that you say you blog about is your life, followed by those segmentations. I think that's incredibly valuable, and it says a lot about why you have such return rate in your readers and why so many people are interested in following you online.
And if we go on to the next one, we asked how many of you, a lot of people come here and think they're going to be the only one who doesn't know someone, but 50% of you are actually not only new to BlogHer conferences, new to any blogging conference. So thank you so much for taking a chance on coming to BlogHer. We really, as I said at the newbie breakfast, we really want to thank you for being here with us.
Yep, welcome newbies. So when we asked what your primary goals were for this conference, these are really very consistent. Most of you want to meet other bloggers that you read face-to-face. Of course, you want to hone your skills, and we have really worked to develop and evolve the programming to support that. You're also thinking a lot about your strategy for the coming year and what you want to accomplish. Elisa and I have often found, and I know Jory agrees, that the best ideas we have come from whoever we're lucky enough to sit next to at a table at a meal or maybe at the beginning of the conference. So our next step here.
Well, can I just, since you told the story of our first date, can I tell the story of Jory and my first date?
Yeah, tell the story of your first date with Jory. I'm not jealous.
So we actually went to a blogging conference. We didn't know one another, and we were in this blogging conference, and everybody was watching the session and on their laptops like tick, 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 tick. And Jory and I were sitting next to each other by chance and both writing in a notebook. And after the session ended, we had this little bonding moment about, I guess we're the last remaining holdouts here, taking notes on it with pen and paper. We only talked for about 45 minutes. And then when after Lisa and I met and decided to do BlogHer, and we realized, wow, 3 heads would be better than 2. I was like, I met this really cool woman at a conference. I'm just going to call her out of the blue and see if she wants to help. And she, out of the blue, wanted to. So you never know who you might be meeting out there. It could be your partner for life.
So let's make sure you get started meeting each other.